top of the table.
Hello, everyone. So, I have a question for you guys today. How do you feel when you hear a no? Can you please get a glass of water for me? No. Can we watch a movie today? No. Can I go for a movie with my friends then? No. Can you make this presentation today? No. It's a bit unsettling to hear, isn't it? But why? Why do we find it so hard to accept a no and to even say it? This is our topic on the table today. Hello, friends. I am Sheetal Sharma, Head of Content at United We Care. And to discuss this very important topic, I have with me our in house clinical psychologist, Jaswandi Sahasrabudhe. Hi, Jaswandi.
Hey, yeah, Sheetal. I could actually relate to all the questions that you asked, by the way, Sheetal. So, yes, I'm super excited to get into this topic and roll out a discussion which I feel not just the listeners, but also both of us will surely have some takeaway from our discussion, I believe.
I'm certain because I think that, saying a no and listening to a no, I think it's a difficult task and it's a constant learning curve, is what I'd say. So, just want to tell me something. What is it about no that is so unsettling? Why do we fear saying it? Why do we feel so unsettled when someone says it to us?
So, Sheetal, that's a very good question. These days when we look at people, and not just people, even in case of like me, I believe that most of us have been allergic to saying no. When I say actually allergic, it is very uncomfortable for us to say no or to deny something. Okay, so why does this happen, and why do we take this word no so seriously that we get into this habit of always saying yes? So I feel the fear of saying no also stems from the urge, of avoiding conflict or any confrontation. It's like it's better if I don't say, if I don't say no, because if I say no I will get into trouble, or what if this happens and what if that happens. So there's a lot of anticipation that comes up when we actually don't say no.
So, Jaswandi, do you think that it has got some roots to, with our childhood as well? Because, as children, we were so used to listening to a no. Mom, can I eat this toffee? No. Can I have the chocolate? No. Can I go out and play? No. It was always a no, 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 no. And somehow, we grew up imbibing in our head that no means rejection because it made us feel bad. It made us feel rejected.
Yes, Sheetal, I would say most of the concerns or problems or stressors that we have, Sheetal, are stemming from our childhood. And I won't say that the parenting was the reason, but yes, there are childhood experiences which actually make us or break us. Many people say that, okay, childhood experiences create that lead to traumatic experiences or events. That to certain extent is true. Why people tend to worry about saying no is because they don't want to disappoint others or hurt their feelings. Basically, it's like you're pleasing people unknowingly, or without understanding, okay, I'm doing it. The difficulty of saying no, stems back to our childhood, as you say. Yes, to a certain extent, because of parenting. So strict parenting, as you said, when we used to ask our parents, can I do this, they used to say no, you can't. Can I do take this? No, you can't. So every time listening to no made us feel, oh, this is the way out. I guess I am not supposed to be doing it. And that somehow makes us feel, okay, no is a very serious and a big word. Also, you know what, Sheetal, at times, I'm not blaming anyone here, but at times, mixed messages that we receive from parents, that also creates a question to us, whether should we actually be saying no, or is it that whenever someone sees something we need to do it. Also, I feel it is my personal experience that insecure and over demanding parents, okay, to certain extent, also want to boost their self esteem and make the kids do something which the kids find it difficult to say no again. Now, since I have not said no in my childhood, I become an adult who is not comfortable saying no.
That's very true, Jaswandi. In fact, you very rightly said that it might not really be bad parenting. But what I feel is that it can get better, because when you say no and there is no explanation that follows the no, as a child you just feel rejected. The parent definitely has a good intention towards the child. So if the parent is saying no, you cannot eat chocolates, but if you just say no to a chocolate, the kid thinks that, oh, I am not supposed to have that chocolate at all. It's a bad thing. I'm not supposed to do it. But when you explain it, you follow it with an explanation, I think it justifies somehow, and the child also understands somehow. And then, therefore, the no doesn't become such a bad word, which would probably, turn into this massive word that you're always scared of saying or listening to when you grow up.
Sheetal, I completely agree to that, So that's why people always speak about positive parenting, Like it's more about using the right words. It's not that a parent wants something that child should not be doing. It's just that maybe that's not the right time. So communicating it in the right way rather than just saying no will all obviously be very helpful for the child, not just to understand the reason but also to actually develop the reasoning part, the logical reasoning. Because when we say no, we are saying no because we are scared of what if this happens, or what if I get into a conflict, or what if I hurt someone. So the saying no should be handled by a parent from an early age itself.
Absolutely, Jaswandi. And also, I think that, what I feel is that as an adult, when you don't say a no when you want to, you also make very half-hearted attempts at a job. Okay, let's say that someone has told me that, oh my God, you need to make this presentation today, and that's about it. All right. Now, I might want to say a no to that because I don't have the time today, but I still go ahead and do that. But I might not deliver that good a quality as I was supposed to deliver. So instead, if I had fathomed the courage to tell the person that I'm sorry, or maybe no, I can't create this today, but I will give it to you by tomorrow, then I think it would have been a better situation for me as well as the person who's asking for that work.
So it is like the list goes on, you do things that you don't want to actually do it just because you are not able to deny doing it. So as you rightly said, rather than saying no, it is important for us to understand why are we not saying a no. So here is where I feel saying a no is not a good thing. It is a form of self sacrifice that you take. You're just sacrificing things that you wanted to do. For example, I wanted to attend a party, but someone asked me, okay, can you work on this? And I was not able to say no. What did I do? I sacrificed my wish or my inclination to attend a party just because I was not able to say no.
Absolutely. And I think that there is a part of you trying to please people, from where this topic has stemmed from. You trying to please people all the time is also one of the major reasons why you fail at saying a no.
So true. So that's what I'm saying. We say yes to events we don't want to attend, favors we don't want to do. Also, we tend to spend time with people who we don't want to spend time with, and that's just going on and on and on, and you are just taking yourself further away from you, right? If you ask reason why are we doing it, we do not have particular answer to it. It's like you're sacrificing things without knowing exactly what you want or what are your needs. You just keep saying yes for everything.
True. And in fact, that brings me to one instance in my life which was very similar, and which very clearly states to me, that how no is important. And I was working with this very large news network, and I was told in the middle of the night to go to a village to cover something. And it was pretty evident to me, as a reporter at that time, that, this event would fizzle out by the time I reached that place, because it was outside Delhi. It was some 300 kilometers away, etc. So I very, very clearly defined that I don't want to go for this particular news piece that's happening. And at that point in time, the person that I was reporting to, he just couldn't understand that why did I say a no. you know he felt it very difficult to accept that no from me, not understanding that logistically that was the worst decision that he was making in the middle of the night. So the later that day there was of course an understanding, and there was a big brouhaha made about the entire event, and a lot of seniors sat together, and me and this particular person as well, and they tried to resolve the issue what it was. And everyone on the table kind of agreed that the decision that was taken, and the reason why I said a no at that point in time, was for the right reasons, which ensured that there were no resources that were wasted. It ensured that there was no manpower that was wasted. So I think that sometimes you have to say a no for even ensuring that a larger goal is achieved, which might not be something that the other person will be able to see at that point. But I think that if you stick to your stance and if you stick to your ground, I'm sure that you can find a way later.
Sheetal, I completely agree. And if we actually look at it from the other perspective, this would have led to you being so anxious and stressed about all this episode of going there and covering the news and a lot of things, and then you might have sat and thought, why am I doing it? Which might have led you to actually lose your personal identity. Think about it as, oh, do I even have a voice? Because if I am saying yes to everything, I'm losing on a lot of things in my life, not just in terms of my mental peace, but also the identity that I carry. And I would like to share a similar example here, Sheetal. And I would say that's a very personal example which I would like to share, because I believe when we share examples or incidences, we tend to learn. And I'll give you a similar example. As a teenager, I was in a relationship, okay, with someone who I felt was very dominating or very controlling. And I used to say to everything, like, for example, we want to go out for lunch, okay, because the person wanted to go here, okay, I will come here, even when I didn't like that cuisine. And I never wanted to say a no. I never wanted to say, I never wanted to say a yes. I always used to want say no, but I didn't have that courage to say no. And if you ask me the reason now, if I have to reflect, it was because I didn't wanted that person to feel bad, or that person to feel, oh, why is she doing it? Is she not very serious in the relationship? And soon after, like a couple of years, I started falling apart. That relationship started loosening. And if I have to tell you the reason behind it, it's because I was wearing a mask of saying yes for everything. And to be very honest, this mask needs to come out at a point. And that's when I started saying no. That became such a big part of a conflict, because the person was never used to hear a no from me. And that actually affected my relationship with them. So when we look at it, no, saying no just does not mean that you're rude, selfish, or unkind. It just means that you're listening and following to what things you think is right, or what you want to do. So I feel saying no is very important to actually build your relationship, not just with yourself, but also with people around you.
Jaswandi, what I also feel is that, when you don't say a no in a particular instance when you should, you somehow tend to feel that you lack control, or you have lost control of your own life, and that's a very, very unsettling feeling. But tell me something, that we are talking about, how to say a no. What about how to learn to listen to a no as well? I think that that is something that is not discussed about very often.
Yes, that's a very good point that you have raised, because yes, at times we only talk about it is important to say no, but also listening to a no is very important. And I feel, because we don't say no, we are never used to listen to a no also. Because according to us, if we are not saying no, why should we listen to a no? It is like we are taking it for granted that, okay, people need to say yes. When I am saying this, people need to say yes. And this is where I again am taking you back to the same topic of parenting. Is because if you are saying no to a child, it is obvious a child might also come and say no to you. So it, as a parent, you should be open to listen to their perspective of why the child is saying a no.
So, first of all, let's talk about what are the tips, and how to go about saying a no for a person who never knows how to say a no. Because we need a little bit of tact there, I'm sure. So do you have any tips on how to say a no when you're not, you never say a no to people otherwise? How to start the process?
Yes, so I will tell you, Sheetal, this process, I won't say that this is the only process, but this is the process that I have been using so far. Because as I said, I am a person who used to rarely say no to things, and then I used to always be in a difficult, tight spot, and that's when I realized, yes, it is high time I need to learn to say no. And these are the 5 steps that I have followed, Sheetal. I would say that has really helped me a lot. So I would say the first and the most important one is to start with conditional yeses, and then gradually move to say no. Because as I said, we are wearing a mask of saying yes for everything, Sheetal. At certain time, on say for example Monday, I wake up and I start saying no to everyone. They will feel like, what has happened, is she okay? Like, she was saying yes to everything, and all of a sudden something happened, and she started saying no. So I feel it should be conditional transition, it should not be very sudden. You should start understanding the points where it is a mandate to say no. So you first start saying yes gradually, and then move to saying no to the things that you do not agree to. I would say second, and the most important, is just say it. At times we just sit and think, oh, I should be saying no to this, but you don't say it. It is very important to actually get in the action of saying no, rather than just thinking that I'll be saying no.
But while people work towards not being people pleasers anymore, I think it's very hard to say a no very easily as well. So maybe, going by what you have suggested, maybe going with things like that. Yes, I could do that, but I'm
Correct.
putting in your condition, that yes, I could finish this work if I find the time after doing my entire work, or yes, I could go out for a movie if I finish work on time, and that would still make you feel in, give you a sense of control, while it doesn't make the other person feel bad either. So I think that could be a good start, right?
Yes, Sheetal. So when we speak about conditions, I would say, in a very clear term, we can have clauses. When I mean clause, it's like you are making the person understand that if this happens, is when I would be able to complete it. Or if this, as you rightly said, as you gave examples, if this would happen, if this was the condition, that's when I would be able to do it. So the person also understands there's a possibility that she might not be able to do it. So he or she becomes he or she is in a better position to accept a no if it comes later in the stage. The third point, as you said, Sheetal, here is to set boundaries. You know, we need to do, we need to set things, or we need to prioritize things. We need to set boundaries of what are the things that you can do, what are the things that you absolutely cannot do. So, in psychology, we talk about having a control. There are things that are in your control, there are things that are absolutely not in your control. So, setting up these boundaries, help us to understand, okay, the things that are not in my control are something that I need to say no, because these are not in my control to say yes to. Also, the fourth point is putting the ball back in their court. Okay, this is something that I am currently at this stage, Sheetal, I would say. So let's say a supervisor or superior or your manager is asking you to take several tasks at once and work on several tasks, one that you can handle. You might say, I'm happy to do XYZ, however I need 3 weeks rather than 2 to do a good job or to complete this work. How would you like me to prioritize them? Now, what is happening? You're not saying no to this, but you are asking them to guide you exactly how are you going to do it. Now, in this, again, you have a lot of control in your hand, but yet you are trying to say, okay, this is what I'm going to do, or this is what I cannot be able to do in this time. So again, this comes back to our first question of start with a conditional yes. So everywhere when you add a condition is when you are actually taking some time out to tell them, okay, I might be saying no further. And last but not the least, which I have been saying since the last 2 episodes, I guess, is start giving yourself the priority. Make yourself the utmost priority. The first priority should be you yourself. I'm not saying be self centered or selfish, but it is important to start understanding what you want rather than what people want. So I would say, Sheetal, these are the 5 ways or 5 steps that I have been following, and trust me, that has been helpful for me to actually say no to a lot of things and a lot of people.
Thank you, Jaswandi. That is so, so helpful. But okay, now we've understood how to say a no, the way of tactfully saying no, etc., etc. But tell me something. How does a person, let's say if I am a leader, okay, and I have people who are working with me, my colleagues who are junior than me, but they come and tell me a no. Now it's going to be very hard for me to accept that no. How do I accept that no?
First thing I would say, Sheetal, is breathe. First thing is to breathe, okay? Because at times you get so defensive saying that how dare you say no? You have to say yes, you know? And especially when you are at a particular position, you have been hearing a yes. For you to hear a no so upfrontly, it becomes very difficult. So I would say take few deep breaths and just say, okay, I understand what you're trying to say, and actually try to understand why the person has given a negative feedback, or why has he or she said no. If you yet don't understand the reason why the person is saying no, it is good to actually ask politely for the reason by saying, okay, can I know why are you saying no to doing this particular thing, or why are you denying, or why are you giving me a particular feedback? Because taking no yes is very difficult, but I feel at any point when someone says no, it is very important for us to accept the no, or to understand why the person is saying no. And Sheetal, this takes us to back to the topic one of being aware about yourself or about your environment. So if it is the right time, do ask for a reason, or else just give a time out, wherein if there's a heated argument and someone is saying no, you actually ask the person also to take a time out, and you take a time out. So there's no not reacting happening, but after a point there will be a response wherein you can sit down in front of each other and talk about it.
Basically easy resolution for getting over that no and that feeling that no usually creates. I think all these steps are so interrelated, working on yourself and your self-awareness, trying to get out of that people pleasing mode, and of course, the art of saying no and how to say it and how to even accept it. All these things are extremely important, and they are so interlinked that I think that everything needs to be worked on a little bit. And the moment you kind of start going on this journey step by step, I think everything becomes much more easier to accept, as compared to maybe what it is today. So thank you so much, Jaswandi. This was extremely important information, and we will come back with another episode, which would be around yoga and its impact on mental health, something which is very different but very, very important these days. So thank you, Jaswandi, and thank you everyone for giving this a listen, and we will be back again next time.